Welcome back to the Ryoko Show. Today is such a special milestone, our 100th episode. I can't believe it's been almost 2 years since I started this podcast. Whether you've been with me from the beginning or you just found this podcast, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, your messages, your encouragement, and showing up for yourself. This podcast started with a lot of doubts on my end. I've been listening to other people's podcasts, and I was always interested in doing my own podcast someday. But I kept thinking, who am I to do podcasts? I don't even have topics. And who is going to listen? There are already great podcast shows out there. And honestly, if it weren't for a comment from Jack Canfield, a co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul and author of The Success Principles, this show might not exist. I went to a webinar to learn about how to launch a podcast, and Jack was also on that call. And Jack said, if you want a different outcome in life, you need to respond differently. He said, how you respond to an event creates a different outcome. You have an opportunity to learn to launch podcasts, and if you sign up, you will learn and have your own show. So with a lot of doubts and lack of confidence, I decided to sign up. And he reminded us that the doubts in our head aren't truth. They are just beliefs that we picked up along the way since our childhood. And that distinction changed everything. I decided to start, to learn, to grow, and show up anyway. And 100 episodes later, here we are. Which brings us to today's topic, one that's been life-changing for me. The power of belief, how to identify and shift your limiting beliefs to more empowering ones. And why beliefs matters, because your beliefs shape your reality. They affect how you see yourself, how you approach challenges, and what you think is possible for you, and even what you think you deserve. Beliefs influence your confidence, your relationships, your career choices, and even your health habits. So if you want to create real, meaningful change in your life, you don't start with your goals. You start with your beliefs. So first, we need to identify our limiting beliefs, the beliefs that are keeping you stuck. So take a deep breath, drop into yourself for a moment, and gently ask, where in my life do I feel stuck or frustrated? What's something I really want to do but keep avoiding? What stories am I telling myself that's keeping me from moving forward? Maybe you've wanted to launch a creative project, change careers, start a business, or improve relationship, but something invisible seemed to be holding you back. And you might discover thoughts like, I'm too old to start over. I never finish what I start. I'm not smart enough. I'll probably fail anyway. And these thoughts are not facts. They are just thoughts that you kept telling yourself over and over, so they seem real to you. But they are not. They are just habits of your thought. And if you don't realize that you have those limiting beliefs, they'll continue running the show in the background. We often try to change our lives by changing our actions, buying a new planner, sign up for another course, or change a job or partner. But if the belief underneath hasn't shifted, the change won't last, and we will eventually repeat the same pattern over and over. The real work happens at the level of belief. So your job in this step is to just get curious. What belief might be holding you back? Because once you name it, you take away its power. Now that you've named the belief, it's time to hold it up to the light and ask, is this belief absolutely true? Where did it come from? Was this belief passed down to me? What moments or memories reinforce this belief? Who would I be without this belief? Most of our limiting beliefs weren't consciously chosen. They were picked up through our experiences, a harsh comment from a teacher, a failure that stuck with us, moment of embarrassment, or even well-meaning but limiting advice from someone we love. Over time, those moments stack up and become our inner narrative. But here is the truth. A belief is only as strong as the attention we give it. When you repeat it, avoid challenges, or seek evidence that supports it, it gets stronger. But when you question it, when you explore alternatives, it starts to lose its power. Let's say your belief is, I'm not good enough, and you ask yourself, who said that? Is there a single moment in my life that contradicts this belief that I'm not good enough? Can I remember a time when I was proud of myself? You are not here to force the belief to go away. You're here to get curious, to explore what else could be true. And that curiosity is very powerful because it creates space for something new. And the step 3 is to shift that limiting belief to more empowering one. Now, this isn't about creating affirmation that you don't believe yet. It's not about pretending that life is perfect. It's about choosing thoughts that support your own growth, your courage, and your capacity to try. And let's say your old belief is, I'm too old to start over. Then your new belief could be, it's never too late to do what lights me up. My life experience gives me wisdom I can build on. Or maybe your limiting belief might be, I'm not qualified. You could shift that to, I'm capable of learning as I go. No one starts as an expert. Choose a belief that feels possible, even just a little. Then write it down. Say it out loud. Put it where you'll see it. Practice every time the old belief tries to sneak back in. Because with repetition, you're creating a new neuron pathway and your brain starts to believe it. And when your belief changes, your response changes. So does your reality. And here is the life formula for change that I learned from Jack Canfield. E plus R equals O. E stands for event, R stands for response, and O stands for outcome. And a lot of us think events create outcomes, but that's not true. How you respond to the event actually creates the outcome. You can't always control events. Life happens. Life throws curveballs. We face rejections, loss, stress, things outside our control. But you can control your response. Your response is powered by your beliefs. If you believe, I can't handle this, your response will reflect fear or avoidance. But if you believe, I'm resourceful and I can figure this out, your response becomes creative, resilient, and solution-focused. And that changes the outcome. So the next time life hands you something unexpected, ask yourself, what belief is shaping my response right now? What belief would serve me better? And that shift right there is your power. And here is what I want you to carry with you today. You are not defined by your beliefs. You are the one who holds them. And that means you have the power to change them whenever you choose. And you are not stuck. You are not too late, and you are not behind. And changes start the moment you decide to see yourself differently and open the door to new possibilities. So take a moment to honor how far you've come. Celebrate your courage for showing up and doing the best you can. If this episode sparks something in you, I'd love you to share it with your friend. Together, we can keep growing, learning, and shining brighter. 100 episodes. What an incredible milestone. I'm so honored to walk this path with you. Until next time, keep shining.